In the headlines, some Nasarawa residents dissociate selves from PDP call for annulment of governorship election. 2 bandits killed as police repel attack in Zamfara community. UK bars active recruitment of health workers from Nigeria. And on the international scene, deadly blast hits police vehicle in Pakistan's Quetta, kills 4. Hello and welcome to News Update on Trust TV. I am Sagir Ibrahim. Hello and welcome once again. Now the news in detail. Residents of Nasarawa State have embarked on a counter-protest against supporters of the People's Democratic Party who have been protesting against the outcome of the governorship election in the state. Abubakar Abdullahi, who monitored the protest, reports that people across different faith and ethnic groups participated in the protest. Take a look at the report as packaged here in our studio.
The Nasarawa State residents who participated in the protest in their numbers expressed dismay and overactions they describe as an alien to the culture, norms and values of the people of the state. They said politics is not a do-or-die affair that will warrant people to be desperate to the extent going naked in the name of seeking justice, whereas there are appropriate avenues like the courts where they could seek redress. They maintain that since the election has been conducted and a winner announced, what should bother residents is what dividends of democracy can continue to enjoy, in addition to the peace the state already enjoys.
Therefore, we are here to make a counter-protest, which is more of peace, in what has been taking place in the previous days by opposition party that have hired women to come and naked themselves here. That does not characterize a good terms of humanity, because it is unorthodox, unconventional, and to the dignity and principle of human existence.
So after these elections that just happened on the 18th of last month, we were surprised to hear the fact that after the declaration of His Excellency as the winner of the elections, a group of women, mostly not from Nasarawa State, are taking over the streets of Lafia. They are not just taking over the streets of Lafia, but naked, with show of nudity. That is insanity.
The protesters called on politicians to put the interest of the state above theirs through actions that will promote the good of the state rather than tarnishing its image. It will be recalled that a day after the Independent National Electoral Commission declared Governor Abdullahi Sule as the winner of the state governorship election, some women in black attire gathered at the People's Democratic Party Secretariat in Lafia, protesting the outcome of the election. Trust TV reports that the PDP women protest in Nasarawa State has continued unabated, thereby making another section of the state to commence a counter-protest with a resolve that they will only stop when the women stop protesting naked.
Also, police and personnel of the military joint operations have neutralized 2 suspected terrorists during a confrontation at a community in Tafe local government area of Zamfara State. The suspected terrorists were said to have attempted to attack the community when troops repelled the attack and killed 2 of them during the gun battle, while others fled with gunshot wounds. In a statement by the Zamfara State Police Public Relations Officer, Mohammed Shehu, he said the Commissioner of Police, Kolo Yusuf, commended the resilience of the joint police and military deployed to curtail the menace of terrorists and other criminal elements in the state. He called on the public to improve and sustain their partnership with the security agencies to restore lasting peace and security in the state. The Commissioner, while reassuring the public of improved and sustained commitment in the ongoing campaign against the resurgence of banditry in the state, tasked members of the communities to effectively collaborate with all the security agencies in the state to enable them succeed in their operations across the state. Also, Professor Onje Giewado, a former deputy governor of Nasarawa State who was abducted on Thursday night, has been released after a ransom of 4 million naira was paid to his abductors. The professor of law was kidnapped from his country home in Rinza, near Wamba, the headquarters of Wamba local government area of the state. His kidnappers had demanded a ransom of 70 million naira, but the family negotiated from 2 million naira and later to 3.5 million naira, eventually paying 4 million naira before he was released. A family source said the kidnappers collected the ransom near Mada Hills Secondary School in Akwanga with 200 naira recharge card, after which he was freed from the den close to Angwanchiawa, not far from the hills between Akwanga and Nasarawa Egon. It was gathered that Professor Giewado was taken back to the palace of the paramount ruler of Wamba, Orie Rindre, Justice Lawal Musa Nagogo, upon his release. A former NUJ chairman and an ex-commissioner of information in the state, Dogo Shamma, confirmed the release of the former deputy governor. And also, the Osun State Police Command has arrested a man at Adebisi Muideen for allegedly trafficking 4 teenage girls from Osun State to Kano State. Police said the suspect invited the young girls for a birthday party at a hotel in Ile-Ife and gave them food and drinks, which caused them to sleep off. The girls woke up in Kano State en route Tripoli, the capital of Libya, but 3 of them were able to escape miraculously in Kano and called their parents, who reported the matter to the police. 3 of the girls have been reunited with their families, but the whereabouts of the 4th girl was unknown as at the time of filing this report. The Commissioner of Police in Osun State, Kehinde Longe, promised that the matter would be diligently investigated. The suspect, however, claimed that the girls willingly accepted to go to Libya to work.
So after I reach Kano, I take 4 of them go meet Malame. So I heard over 4 of them give Malame. So after that, I tell them, I say, I want back home. Then say no problem. I buy food, buy everything. So suddenly I dey go back. I saw my phone ringing. 3 of them say they want back. Why you no tell me say you want back before I left from you? Then talk say, okay, I want back. Because this kind of work we will say they won't do for that place. No. I say, I don't explain for you before I left from Ife. Why I do like this? Look at time. Look at time. Time don't go. If you come out now, if you go hand to police or something like it, better stay where you are. So me, I reach Abuja. So since time I come back to Ife. So suddenly I don't sleep. In the next day, suddenly I saw police they knock my door. Blah, blah, blah. They don't want me. Where those of people I carry go to travel. I tell them, they say they won't come back. And I they call them for road. I say they come. Actually, I saw 3 of them at the back of police that day. So now so they carry me go station.
Also, the Bauchi State Police Command has arrested 7 suspected thugs from their hideouts in Magaji quarters. In a statement on Sunday, Police Public Relations Officer in the state, Ahmed Muhammad Wakil, said the suspects aged 17 to 25 were apprehended with some dangerous weapons and alcoholic beverages. Their arrest, the police said, followed credible intelligence as well as collaboration with a quasi-security outfit in the northeastern state. According to the police spokesman, investigations revealed that the suspects belonged to a notorious thuggery group, Sarasuka, known for terrorizing the city of Bauchi's metropolis lately. Reacting to the arrest, the Commissioner of Police, Aminu Al-Hassan, urged parents and guardians to get acquainted with the activities of their children. He stated that the suspects would be charged to court for prosecution upon conclusion of investigation by the Bauchi State Police Command. Also, clergymen are urging the Christian faithful to emulate the lifestyle of Jesus Christ and let love lead as they celebrate the ascension of Jesus Christ to heaven. They made the call while preaching to their congregations on Easter Monday. Noel Samson has more.
According to Christian doctrine, Easter Monday marks the day after Jesus Christ rose from the dead. Easter Monday is a Christian holiday in Nigeria and is typically celebrated with church services. It is a very significant date in the Christian calendar.
When Jesus Christ rose up from the dead, that was on the third day, which is to set an example like yesterday being Sunday. Then early in the morning, the following day, which is Monday now, that the disciples of Jesus Christ have to run to the sepulchre, especially a particular woman called Mary Magdalene. And Mary Magdalene, she has to run to the sepulchre to go and check. So when she went there, she discovered that the tomb was empty. Then she came back where they were gathering and told the other disciples, then Peter and John, the other ones, and said, Jesus is risen. And some of them, they couldn't believe her. So they said, okay, let us go and see. And then they ran to the sepulchre, which is on Monday morning. So when they went there, they really discovered that Jesus Christ has been risen from the dead.
If there was no resurrection, the Christian faith would not even exist in the first place, because Jesus would have just been a man who lived, did a lot of good works and died, and that would have been it. But the uniqueness of it was that he died and he rose. And after rising, he didn't now grow old and die. He ascended. The Bible records that he was in the presence of his disciples. He was taken up into heaven.
There are causes of myth and tradition which surround the celebration of Easter. For instance, the myth that people should not eat meat on Good Friday. Now is the time to clarify. This remains a human doctrine which was not recorded in the Bible.
I've circled the Bible several times. I can't tell you how many times I've gone through the Bible, because from the background I came from, I circled the Bible 4 times in 3.5 years before I had an encounter with Jesus and I gave my life to Jesus Christ. But I've not seen anything like that in the Bible, that you have to eat food or you don't have to eat food, you have to eat meat or you don't have to eat meat on Good Friday. No, it's a doctrine of men. It is not in the Bible. But the truth of the matter is that I am not pegging anybody, neither I'm pegging any ministry or pegging whosoever believe, because everybody has a free will to believe whatever they want to believe.
During Easter, biblical, you can fast, you can eat meat, you can do whatsoever it is you want, as long as it's within the confines of Christian dictates. You are not infringing on another person's rights, and then you are not breaking the laws of the Lord.
This Easter is significant, as it comes at a time of great bitterness, anger and diversion among citizens after recently concluded elections. Nigerians are being urged to pray for peace of the country, be tolerant of one another, and spread love and not hate. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Still on Easter, Governor Mai Mala Buni of Yobe State has called on Nigerians to use the Easter occasion to pray for a successful and peaceful transition of power as Nigeria prepares for a change of leadership. Governor Buni stated this through his Director General Press and Media Affairs, Mamman Muhammad, in a goodwill message to the Christian faithful to mark the Easter occasion. He said it is important to internalize the values of love and sacrifice as reflected in the teachings of the Easter at this period of our national life. The governor noted that the season is blessed as Christian faithful observed the Easter at the same time their Muslim brothers are observing the Ramadan fast. The governor called on religious and community leaders to always preach peace and peaceful coexistence among one another. Also, reward from Allah is a major motivation for fasting during the holy month of Ramadan. But besides the health benefits to their body system, non-Muslims who participate in Ramadan may miss the reward. Hamid Oyugadi tells us more.
Fasting in the month of Ramadan is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, considered to be obligatory act of worship for all Muslims. These include the Muslim creed, daily prayers, charity to the poor, fasting in the month of Ramadan, and the pilgrimage to Mecca for those who are able. Fasting has 8 benefits to human body besides the spiritual development and the reward from Allah.
The health benefits of fasting includes fasting promotes blood sugar control, it boosts the brain function and other cognitive functions. Fasting aids weight loss, and also fasting has been found to increase the production of growth hormone.
However, Scholars believe that only those who are Muslims will earn reward from Allah for fasting during the month of Ramadan.
The Prophet says, he who fasts with faith and sincerity will get multiple rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the acceptance of prayer is included among the rewards from Allah during the fasting for Ramadan. But for the non-Muslims, there is no reward for them because the faith is not there.
Ramadan is a month in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put it down to be a training ground for the Muslim, to be able to nurture their mind and their hearts in obedience to the injunction and rulings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Any Muslim that fasts according to the rule and injunction of Allah is compulsory that his mind will be in peace, and at the same time he'll be able to nurture his mind to follow the injunction of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because someone is fasting, anything that can vitiate his fasting, he'll be shunning away from it, like involving in sinful acts. So that's the first thing which Allah wants us to gain from fasting, to be able to be obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
The clerics are urging Muslims to step up their act of worship as the month of Ramadan winds down, so as to earn bountiful rewards from Allah. Hamid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Oshogbo.
You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Still to come, we take a look at how some Muslim faithful break their fast with cigarettes. These and more after the break. Don't go anywhere.
TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. If you're just joining, you're watching News Update on Trust TV. Now a recap of our top stories. Some Nasra residents dissociate themselves from PDP call for annulment of governorship elections. Also, 2 bandits killed as police repel attack in Zamfara communities. 2 other stories: Muslim faithful fasting in the month of Ramadan are enjoined to eat dates, fruit or drink water at the point of breaking their fast. Some habitual cigarette smokers, however, prioritize smoking as a starter before anything else. In this report, Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman sought to find out why. Take a look at his report.
It is sunset and the Muslim faithful are preparing to break their fasts, an act called iftar in Arabic language. While it is a prophetic injunction to use dates or fruits, then water as a starter, these category of Muslims have another priority: cigarettes.
If you allow me, I would have loved to smoke cigarette first before the interview because it's more important to me. Of course, I broke my fast with the cigarette you are saying on my hands.
It differs, however, even amongst the cigarette smokers. This young man says despite the crave for a stick of his favorite cigarette, he can't afford to overlook the reward for adhering to prophetic injunction.
I first broke my fast with pap and akara before smoking the cigarette. I think it is the ideal thing to do.
Though one cannot rule out the impact of youthful exuberance as highlighted by this ex-smoker, the question is, what does Islam say about prioritizing cigarette at this point of iftar?
I'm an ex-smoker in the 1980s. Then, if I want to break my fast, I start with cigarette because of the crave for it. But I have repented during Babangida era. Doing so is contrary to prophetic teachings, though initially there was no strong admonition against it, except that it is dangerous to health. Islamic scholars later found out that it is forbidden.
Fasting in the months of Ramadan is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. It requires faithful abstinence from eating, drinking, and engaging in sexual intercourse, as well as other immoral acts from the sunrise to the sunset. It's an act of worshipping Allah. But beyond the bountiful reward, it also purifies the heart, mind, and souls of the fasting Muslims. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Also, intending pilgrims who have made deposits for the forthcoming Hajj with the Federal Capital Territory Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board have till Friday, April 21st, to complete their Hajj fare payment, as announced by the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON. A statement by the Public Relations Officer of the board, Mohammed Lawal Aliyu, said the deadline is to enable the board comply with the deadline set by NACON for all states and the FCT in respect of payment of Hajj fares for this year. The statement explained that the payment of the balance by respective intending pilgrims would enable the board establish its prospective master list for the trip, considering the time frame for the airlift of the intending pilgrims to the Holy Land. He disclosed that completing the amount as required would also enable the board to continue with other travel arrangements, as well as the deadline for the balance of payment to NACON. The spokesman emphasized that only those who made the complete payment by the deadline would be registered in the master list for this year's Hajj exercise. Also, the United Kingdom has barred active recruitment of health workers from Nigeria by health and social care employers in the UK. The UK disclosed this in its updated Code of Practice for the international recruitment of health and social care personnel posted on its website. Nigeria has now been included in the red list of countries facing critical shortage of health workers as contained in the World Health Organization's WHO Health Workforce Support and Safeguards list. In March, the WHO published the safeguards list comprising 55 countries, including Nigeria, struggling with a shortage of health workers. The UK government said Nigeria and other countries on the red list should be prioritized for health personnel development and health system-related support, as well as provided with safeguards that discourage active international recruitment of their workers. And on the foreign scene, at least 4 people have been killed after a bomb attack targeted at a police vehicle in the western Pakistani city of Quetta. Spokesperson for Civil Hospital in the city, Wasim Beg, on Monday said the police vehicle was targeted in the Kandari Bazaar area of the city. Among the dead, 2 are police officials, whereas 1 girl and another civilian died, while 15 people were injured. Mita Khan, a police official present at the hospital, said the vehicle targeted belonged to a senior police official who was on his way to one of the police stations. The senior official is unhurt, but his driver and gunman died in the attack. Senior Superintendent of Police spokesperson Zohaib Moshin Balok said the initial investigation revealed that 4 to 5 kilograms of explosive was placed on a motorcycle which was detonated by remote control. The Balochistan Liberation Army BLA, a separatist group, claimed responsibility for the attack. And also, a Palestinian child has been killed by Israeli forces in the Akabet Jaber refugee camp in Jericho as a settler marched to an illegal outpost near the occupied city of Nablus brought more violence to the West Bank. Mohammed Fayez Balhan, who was 15 years old, was shot in the head, chest, and stomach on Monday. The Israeli military said it had been operating in Jericho's Akbat Jabbar refugee camp in an attempt to apprehend Palestinians it suspected of attacks against Israelis, adding that its forces had responded to being fired at by the suspects. The incident comes as the Israeli army guards thousands of Israeli settlers marching to the abandoned illegal outpost of Eviatar to call on the Israeli government to legalize the outpost and denounce the increased attacks on settlements in recent weeks. Thousands of settlers, led by ministers in Israel's far-right government, have taken part in the march, heavily protected by Israeli forces who closed the march's path to Palestinians, although confrontations were still reported, with at least 2 Palestinians injured by rubber-coated bullets and dozens of others treated for inhaling tear gas. And in sport, Lobby Stars continue their impressive run after the days visiting Abia Warriors 2-0 in their Week 13 match played on Sunday in Jos to stay top of Group B of the 2023 Nigeria Premier League Football (NPFL), a breached season with 23 points. Abia Warriors, who had suffered a humiliating 1-5 loss at Bayelsa United, wanted to make amends for the scandalous defeat, but Lobby Stars proved a hard nut to crack as 2 first-half goals off the boots of Umar Abba and Joseph Atule piled more misery on the visitors. Abba found the opener in the 18th minute when he benefited from an Atule-tailored pass, and after 21 minutes, Atule, the supplier, turned scorer when he doubled Lobby Stars' lead with a well-taken goal to end the encounter at 2-0. And with that, we've come to the end of News Update on Trust TV. Do well to follow us across all our media platforms. I'm Sagir Ibrahim. Thanks for watching.